All right, this is class 6 of my arithmetic course. Today we're going to be multiplying multi-digit whole numbers. Now, as I mentioned in class 5, you can't complete class 6 unless you first memorize your multiplication facts that we learned in class 5. Now, if you try to work along with me here in class number 6, before memorizing your multiplication facts, you're going to learn pretty quickly that it's not going to be possible to keep up. And that's going to be the way it is for class 7, class 8, class 9, from now until 2 years from now or 10 years from now, or however long it takes to finish the math sequence, that you're not going to be able to keep up. You cannot continue in this course or any other math course until you memorize those multiplication facts. It should only take you about 3 to 4 hours to memorize the facts, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you refuse to memorize those facts, then I can't help you. You're just not going to be able to continue. So anyway, let's get started with class number 6. We're multiplying multi-digit whole numbers. So in the previous class, we learned how to multiply two one-digit numbers, but now we have a one-digit number and we have a three-digit number. And we're going to multiply two two-digit numbers. We're going to multiply three-digit numbers. And so anyway, let's get started. All right, when you're multiplying or when you're adding and subtracting whole numbers, it's extremely important to line the numbers up properly. But when you're multiplying whole numbers, it's not as important. But just to make things easier to make the algorithm easier to see, we're going to go ahead and line the numbers up. That just makes it easier to understand the algorithm. So 341 times 2. We're going to write the multiplication sign, and as usual, we're going to draw the line. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the 2 times all the other numbers. All right, so we're going to start with the numbers on the very right, the numbers in the ones place. 2 times 1 is 2. Now again, if you know your multiplication facts, you're going to get this easy. So we multiply 2 times 1. Then we're going to multiply 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. And we put the number next to the 2. Then we multiply 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And there you go. So rewrite the final answer, 682, and rectangle the answer as usual. So you take that number and you multiply it by every number of the other number, and you'll see how this algorithm works as we go along. It's much easier just to show you. So let's go on to the second problem. Again, it's traditional to write the bigger number on top, but you can write the bigger number on the bottom. All right, so again, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 3 is 9. Count 3 places over, put your comma, and the final answer is 9,603. All right. Now you try. Pause the video, see what you can do, and then when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. Line up your numbers. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Final answer is 828. All right. If you got that one right, pat yourself on the back. If you didn't, that's okay. We'll try another one. All right, pause the video, try number 4, and when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. Line up the numbers. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. Put your comma. Rewrite the final answer, and as always, rectangle it. If you didn't rectangle your answer, then you didn't do it correctly. All right, on to the next one. Now, this problem is going to be slightly different. We're still going to line up the numbers. But when we multiply 3 times 5, we're actually going to get a 2-digit number. In all the previous problems, when we multiplied the numbers, we always got a 1-digit number. 2 times 1 is a 1-digit number. 2 times 4 is a 1-digit number. 2 times 3 is a 1-digit number. But when we multiply 5 times 3 here, we get a 2-digit number. So what you're going to have to do is the same thing that you did when you learned addition. You're going to have to carry. So you're not going to write 15 like so. You're going to write 5 and the number in the ones place, 5, and then carry the 1. Now you're going to multiply 3 times 1 as we did in the previous problems. But after you multiply 3 times 1, you're then going to add, that's right, add the 1. So 3 times 1 is 3, then add the 1 and you get 4. Then we're ready to go on. So we multiplied 3 times 5 to get 15. We multiplied 3 times 1. And now we're going to multiply 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Put your 12. Rewrite the final answer. 1,245. Rectangle your answer. All right. Number 6, let's do another one of those together. 1,071. Line up the numbers. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 7, now that's a 2-digit number. So you write the number in the ones place, which is a 5, and you carry the 3. All right, now we're going to do 5 times 0, which is 0, and then we're going to add the 3 to that. So 0 plus 3 is 3, and 3 goes here. Then the last product, 5 times 1 is 5, and there you go. Put your comma, and the final answer, 5,355. I'm sorry, I should have given you a little bit more room here. All right. Now at this point, if you didn't know how to multiply 5 times 7, that's because you didn't memorize your multiplication facts. If you didn't know how to multiply 5 times 3, again, you didn't memorize your multiplication facts. If you didn't memorize how to multiply 5 times 4, you didn't memorize your multiplication facts. If you didn't know how to multiply 4 times 2, then you didn't memorize your multiplication facts. So it's only going to get harder. We're only going to have bigger and bigger and bigger numbers. So you're gonna find that if you didn't memorize those multiplication facts, there's no way you're going to be able to continue. Let's go on to number 7. 398 times 3. 3 times 8 is 24. We're going to carry the 2. Always write the number, so it's 24, right? So write the number in the ones digit, and then the number in the tens digit we carry. Then 3 times 9 is 27. And then you're going to add the 2 to get 29. Write the number in the ones digit, which is the 9, and carry the 2, which is in the tens digit. Again, that's 29. 3 times 9 is 29. And then we're going to multiply 3 times 3, and then add the 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. All right. Put your comma. 1,194. All right. Now see if you can try the next one. Pause the video, see what you can do, and then when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. 49 times 9. 9 times 9 is 81. Write the number in the ones place, carry the number in the tens place. Now multiply 9 times 4. 9 times 4 is 36. Add the 8. 36 plus 8 is 44. Our answer is 441. Rectangle the answer as usual. If you didn't rectangle the answer, you didn't do it correctly. All right. If you did that one correctly, pat yourself on the back, and we're ready to go on to number 9. If you didn't do it correctly, figure out what you did wrong, and we'll go on to the next one. If you didn't get it right, don't worry, we're gonna do plenty of these problems. All right, now this is gonna be a big one. 8,945 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. Write the number in the ones place and carry the number in the tens place. Then we do 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 3 is 31. Write the number in the ones place, carry the number in the tens place. 7 times 9 is 63. 63 plus 3 is 66. Write the number in the ones place, carry the number in the tens place. 7 times 8 is 56. 56 plus 6 is 62. Well, we have a 2-digit number, but it's at the end. So obviously we're not going to carry the number in the tens place because there's no number over here to put it. So you just write the entire number, even though it's a 2-digit number. 62. All right, put your comma. Final answer is 62,615. All right. On to the next problem. Why don't you attempt number 10, pause the video, and when you come back, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. Let's write the number, or line up the numbers. 6 times 6 is 36, carry the 3. 6 times 0 is 0, then add 3 is 3. 6 times 0 again is 0. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Write the number in the ones place. Because 6 times 2 is 12, so that's a 2-digit number, so we have to write the number in the ones place. Then we're going to carry the number in the tens place. So 6 times 2 is 12. Write your number in the ones place, carry the number in the tens place. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. Write the number in the ones place, carry the number in the tens place. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Count 3 places over, put your comma, 3 places over, comma. Final answer, 7,926,036. All right. All right, number 11. Find the product of 5 and 999. Now, we learned in the previous class that the word product, that describes a number that you get after you multiply two numbers. So we're going to multiply 5 and 999, and the result is called the product. So let's line up the numbers. 999 times 5. 5 times 9 is 45. Carry the 4. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 4 is 49. Carry the 4. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 4 is 49. but there's no place to carry the 4. We're not going to write the 9 and then carry the 4 because there's no numbers up there to carry. So for the last product, we just write the entire number, put your comma, final answer, 4,995. All right, pause the video, go ahead and try number 12, and when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. 3,000,001 times 4. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 0 is 0, 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 4 times 3 is 12. Comma, comma. Wow, that's a big number. 12,000,004. You're going to be tempted to say 12,000,004, but technically you only say the word and in a number where there's a decimal place. There's no decimal. We're going to learn about decimals later on in this course. All right, let's do number 13. All right, look at number 13. Do you see something different on number 13? In this first page, every single problem that we did, we were multiplying a one-digit number by another number. See, we have one digit, one digit, one digit, one digit, one digit, one digit, one digit. They're all one-digit numbers. But now we're multiplying two-digit numbers by another number, a two-digit number by another number. All right, so again, it's traditional to put the bigger number on the top. It doesn't really matter, but it just makes it easier to see. At least most people think that. And again, it doesn't really matter as much if you line up the numbers. When you're adding and subtracting whole numbers, you always have to line up the numbers properly in the proper place values. But with multiplication, not that important, but again, it just makes it easier to see if we line up the numbers. So we have 541 times 23. So the first part of the algorithm to do this is the exact same algorithm we used to multiply one-digit numbers. So 3 times 1, 3 times 4, and 3 times 5. So let's go ahead and do that. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 4 is 12, carry the 1, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Okay, now at that point you're thinking, great, we're done. Let's go on to the next problem. Well, nope, there's the 2 right there, you see. So we're going to have to deal with that too. So what we do is exactly the same thing that we did before, except now we're not multiplying the 3. We're not multiplying the 3. We're multiplying the 2. So 2 times 1, 2 times 1, 2 times 4, 2 times 5. Okay, but before we do that, please understand that we're actually not multiplying by 2. That's not a 2 right there. That's a 20. Because that 2 is in the tens place, which means if you have a 2 in the tens place, that means you have 2 tens. That's 20. Okay, that's not 2, that's 20. So when you multiply 541 by 20, it's going to be like you multiply it by 2, but you're also going to add a 0. We talked about multiplying, like 5 times 10 is 50, 5 times 100 is 500. When you have a 0 there, when you multiply, you just add another 0. So what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to put a placeholder because we're going to have to add another 0. And we're going to write the number down here below the 1,623. So now we can multiply 2 times 1, 2 times 4, 2 times 5, and put the result here, but to the left of the 0. The 0 again is a placeholder. So 2 times 1, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. And ignore that 1 because that was what we carried when we multiplied 3 times 4. All right, so here's what this means. Now you don't have to know the meaning of the algorithms. It helps to know where the algorithms come from. Well, of course you have to know the meaning of the algorithms, but you don't have to know exactly where they come from. But it helps to know where they come from, so I'm just going to explain a little bit about where this algorithm comes from. So what we did here is we took 3 and multiplied it into 541, and we got that number. And then we multiplied 20 by 541, and we got that number. So that's the basis of the algorithm. See, when you multiply 541 times 23, what you're doing is you're adding 541 23 times. Okay? But the way this algorithm works is you add 541 3 times, and you get this number. But that's only 3 times. We have to add it 23 times. So then you add it 3 times, and then you add it another 20 times, which is where that number comes from. So, you don't have to understand that. But that's just, gives you kind of an idea of where the algorithm comes from. So we added 541 again is times 23 is you have to add 541 23 times. So we added it 3 times, then we added it 20 times. Now we have to add those two numbers together to get, again, multiplication is just another form of addition. We're adding 1,623 with 10,820 to get the final answer. So then you write a line in addition, and we're going to do 3 plus 0 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 6 plus 8 is 14. That's a 2-digit number. So remember, when you add numbers, you have to write the number in the ones place and then carry the number in the tens place. So now we're adding 0 plus 1 is 2. See, we're just adding these two ones. It doesn't become 11. We're adding the two ones, and now we get 2. So finally, you can just consider this to be a 0 here. That's a placeholder. 0 plus 1 is 1. So 541 times 23 is 12,443. 12,443. Now, as you can see, that's a lot of stuff there. That's a lot of work. Multiplication is much more complicated than addition. Okay, multiplication is addition, but it's just a more complicated form. There's a lot more calculations. So as you can see, we're starting to do a lot more math here. Look at all this stuff. We needed a lot of room there just to do all that math. And also, at this point, if you didn't memorize your multiplication facts, you're starting to realize that it's not a very good chance that you're going to be able to make it through this class. And as we go along, you're going to find that out more and more and more. So now let's try the next one. $7,812 times 14. Again, you start with 4. 4 times 2, 4 times 1, 4 times 8, 4 times 7. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 8 is 32. That's a 2-digit number, so write the number in the ones place, carry the number in the tens place. Then finally, 4 times 7 is 28, 28 plus 3 is 31. 31 is a 2-digit number, but there's no numbers to carry, so we just write the 31. And you can put the comma if you want. Now, we put a placeholder, because we're multiplying not by 1, but we're multiplying by 10, because the 1 in this 14 is in the tens place. So now we're going to do 1 times 2, 1 times 1, 1 times 8, 1 times 7. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 7 is 7. So we did 4 times 7,812, and then we did 10 times 7,812. So we added 7,812 4 times. Now we're going to add it another 10 times. So 4 times, this is adding it 4 times. This is adding it 10 times. So again, you don't have to know where the algorithm comes from. You just have to know how to do the algorithm. That's what math is all about. It's about algorithms. So we have to add those numbers. So go back to your addition. Remember your addition of whole numbers. When you're adding whole numbers, they have to be lined up. These numbers all have to be lined up, or else you're going to get the wrong answer. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus 1 is 2. 8 plus 1 is 9. 7 plus 3 is 10. Put your comma. We don't really have a lot of room to write the final answer, so I'm going to go ahead and try to move that up. All right. 109,268. All right. Now you try the next problem. Pause the video, see what you can do, and when you're done, we'll do it together. Remember, the product, when it says find the product, that means you're looking for the number that results when you multiply 814 by 25, so it's the same type of problem. I'll see you when we come back. All right, we're back. 814 times 25. We're going to multiply 5 times 814, so 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. 5 times 8 is 40. We just multiplied 5 times 814. Now we're going to multiply 814 times 20. So we have to put a placeholder, and we'll look at the 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. Ignore that 2 because that's the 2 we carried from the last problem. So, or the last algorithm, part of the algorithm. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. Now again, when you add up these numbers, be sure to line everything up exactly or you're going to get the wrong answer. That's typically where students will make mistakes, is they won't line up the numbers correctly. As math gets more and more complicated, there's a greater possibility that you're going to make a mistake. That's just the way it is with all mathematicians, all people, all things in general. The more complicated it is, the more things can go wrong. All right, so we did 5 times 814 and we got this number, and then we did 20 times 814 and we got this number. But we're trying to add 814 25 times, so we have to add it 5 times and we have to add it 20 times. So we have to add these two numbers up. 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 7 is 15. 2 plus 0 plus 1 is 3. And 6 plus 4 is 10. Put your 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Put your comma. Final answer, 20,350. Now again, if you didn't rewrite the final answer and rectangle it, then you didn't do the problem correctly. All right, let's go on to number 16. Pause the video. see what you can do, and then when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. Line up the numbers vertically. Start with the 6. Multiply 6 times 3,210. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. Put your placeholder, because we're multiplying by 20 now. We're going to multiply 20 times 3,210. So 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. And don't add that 1, because that was the previous part of the algorithm. So we added 3,210 6 times, and we added 3,210 20 times. But we have to add that 20 and that 6 together. So we have to add it. Make sure that the numbers are lined up. If they're not lined up, I guarantee you're going to get the problem wrong. Just like when we added whole numbers, you got to line up the numbers properly. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 2 is 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 6 plus 1 plus 1 is 8. Put your comma. Final answer is 83,460. Rectangle your final answer. If you didn't rectangle your final answer, then you got it wrong. All right. Now, if you didn't memorize your multiplication facts, then you're really going to be in trouble in the next problem. Where do you see this? Number 17, pause the video, see what you can do. And if you memorized your multiplication facts, it won't be that difficult. But if you didn't memorize your multiplication facts, have fun. All right, when you come back, we'll do it together, and we'll see what we can do. All right, we're back. 786 times 95. Start with the 5. 5 times 786. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. 5 times 8 is 40. Plus 3 is 43. Carry the 4. 5 times 7 is 35. 35 plus 4 is 39. Put your placeholder. Because we're not multiplying by 9, we're multiplying by 90. So now 90 times 786. 9 times 6 is 54. Carry the 5. Uh-oh. We got to go way up there to carry the 5, because these numbers don't mean anything anymore. By the way, you can cross out those numbers after we're done with them. You don't want to get confused. 9 times 6. 9 times 6 is 54. Write your 4. Carry the 5. 9 times 8 is 72. 72 plus 5 is 77. Let me double check here. 54. 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 5 is 77. Write your 7. Carry the other 7. 9 times 7 is 63. 63 plus 7 is 70. See, I have to stop and make sure I'm doing the problem correctly, because there's so many calculations going on here. So now we need to add 786 95 times. Okay, we added it 5 times, and then we added it 90 times. But then we have to add the 5 and the 90 together. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 3 plus 4 is 7. 9 plus 7 is 16. Carry the 1. 0 plus 3 plus 1 is 4. 7 plus nothing there is 7. All right. Put your comma. Final answer is 74,670. Now, if you didn't memorize your multiplication facts, you're really going to be hurting right now. You're really thinking to yourself, maybe I should quit math here. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. You are cut out for this. Just go back to the previous class, class number 5. I think it was class number 5. Go back to class number 5, spend 3 or 4 hours memorizing those multiplication facts, and then come back and you'll be completely fine. But if you refuse to memorize those multiplication facts, you've got no chance. No chance at all. I mean, you might be able to become an engineer or a scientist, but you'll have to work alone, because if you work with a team and you're required to multiply numbers quickly, that's going to be difficult. All right. Why don't you attempt the next problem, pause the video, and when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. 647 times 84. Start with the 4. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Now we're multiplying by 80, put a placeholder. Now we're multiplying the 8 times all the numbers. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 5 is 37. Again, you can cross out these numbers. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus 3 is 51. All right. Now we add the numbers. This number, these numbers, these numbers, these numbers, and these numbers. 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 plus 5 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. And 5 plus nothing is 5. All right. Write your final answer, 54,348. All right. All right. Now attempt the next problem. Pause the video, and when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. Line up the numbers. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 7 is 47. Put a placeholder. Now we move on to the 6 times 9 is 54. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 5 is 35. It's not 30 plus 7 plus 5, because that 7 is part of the previous part of the algorithm. All right, add the numbers. 2 plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 4 is 11. Carry the 1. 5 plus 4 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Put your comma. Final answer is 4,012. All right. If you did that correctly, pat yourself on the back. If you didn't do it correctly, that's okay. Just go back and figure out what you did wrong, and we have a lot more to go here, so you'll get plenty of practice. All right, pause the video, try number 20, and when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. 55 times 33. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Put a placeholder. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry another one. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Now we're ready to add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. 6 plus 1 is 8. 1 plus 0 is 1. Final answer is 1,815. Yeah, we should probably put that number higher. 1,815, so it's not so cramped. All right. Pause the video, try the next problem, and then when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, 708 times 91. We start with the 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 7 is 7. Put a placeholder. Now we go to the 9. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 0 is 0. Plus the 7 is 7. 9 times 7 is 63. Add all the numbers. Make sure to line them up properly. 8 times 0 is 8. 0 times 2 is 2. 7 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 4. 6 times nothing is 6. 64,428. 64,428. All right. That was scary. Almost lost the work there. All right, now we're on to 22. Now, well, on the first page, we multiplied a one-digit number by some other number. On the second page, we multiplied a two-digit number by some other number. And now we're multiplying two three-digit numbers, a three-digit number by some other number. I'm never going to ask you to multiply four-digit numbers, because if we ever need to multiply four-digit numbers, then you can just find a calculator, and the calculator will do it for you. Multiplying four-digit numbers is something that just takes way too long. Now, you can train your brain to do it pretty quickly. The human mind can be very quick if it has experience with the algorithms, but really 99.999% of people, they don't know how to arrange those numbers quickly like that in their head, so we'll never multiply four-digit numbers because it just takes too long. Now, if you're a mathematician at heart, you might be able to find a way to do that, but that would be an advanced course. So we're going to stick with three-digit numbers. That's the biggest ones we're going to multiply. Now again, we multiplied by numbers that had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 digits. But the point I'm making here is that the other number is only a one-digit number. So you'll only multiply three-digit numbers. A three-digit times a three-digit. Those are the biggest combination of numbers we're going to do. All right, so let's stop stalling here. 521 times 246. All right, so this is basically the same exact algorithm we used before. We're going to multiply 6 times 521, so 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 5 is 30, plus 1 is 31. Okay, we multiplied 521 times 6. That was all that we just did there. All right. Now, we multiplied 521 times 6. Now we're going to multiply 521 times 40. So we have to put a placeholder because it's not 4, it's 40. And now we go to the 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 5 is 20. All right. But now we have one more number. We have 2. So we have to multiply 2 times 1, 2 times 2, and 2 times 5. It's the same algorithm, we're just adding another number. So we multiplied 521 times 6. We multiplied 521 times 40. Now we're going to multiply 521 times 200. Because that 2, this 2 here it's not a 2, it's a 200. Of course, we can just think of it as 2 in our algorithm, but it's actually 200. So because we're multiplying 521 times 200, we have to put 2 zeros here. All right? Now we're ready to and make sure you line up those numbers. I can't stress it enough. Line up those numbers. So now we're ready to go on to the 2. 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 5. Let's do it. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. All right, so now we have, again, 521 times 6, 521 times 40, 521 times 200. That's why the numbers typically get bigger and bigger and bigger. when you go down in this area. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger because you're starting with the smallest number, 6, and the next biggest number, 40, and the next biggest number, 200. All right, so now we have to add, we multiplied it 6 times. We have to add the 6 times, the 40 times, and the 200 times. So that's where we get here. All right, as always, start with the numbers in the ones places. 6 plus 0 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 4 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 8 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 4 plus 0 plus 3 is 8. 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus nothing is 1. 128,166. Let's see if we can move that up a little bit so we'll have more room to write the final answer. 128,166. All right, let's go on to the next number. I'm going to do this quicker now because I don't want you to get bored. The next problem you can try yourself. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 2 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Put a placeholder. 0 times 9 is 0. 0 times 8 is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. Put 2 placeholders. You have to remember to put 2 placeholders when you go on to the 7, because that's not 7, it's 700. So you need 2 zeros. All right. 7 times 9 is 63. Carry the 6. Don't confuse these ones. 7 times 8 is 56. Plus 6 is 62. Carry the 6. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 6 is 27. Now we're ready to add. 8 plus zeros is 8. 7 plus 0 plus 0 is 7. 7 plus 0 plus 3 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 0 plus 2 is 3. 7 plus nothing is 7. 2 plus nothing is 2. 273,078. 273,078. All right. So here's the moment you've been looking forward to. We're now ready to go on to number 24. And you're going to attempt this one yourself. Remember, you got to stay orderly. You got to concentrate. It's very easy to get lost in these problems. But if you do get lost, that's okay. Just start over from the beginning. And start over from the beginning, and you'll be fine. All right. 599 times 874. Let's see if you did it correctly. 4 times 9 is 36. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 3 is 39. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. Put your placeholder. Now we're going on to the 7. 7 times 9 is 63. Carry the 6. 7 times 9 is 63, plus 6 is 69. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 6 is 41. Put 2 placeholders. 8 times 9 is 72. I'm going to cross out these numbers so I don't confuse them. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 9 again is 72, plus 7 is 79. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 7 is 47. That was a hard one. Let me just double check that. It's good to double check your work. It's really easy to make a mistake on these problems. Looks like I did it correct. Now we're ready to add. 6 plus 0, 0 is 6. 9 plus 3 is 12. 2 plus 9 plus 3 plus 1 is 15. 9 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 13. 1 plus 4 plus 7 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 523,526. 523,526. All right, let's go on to the next problem. Remember, product is a result after you multiply two numbers. So pause the video, see what you can do, and when you come back, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. 800 times 134. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 8 is 32. Placeholder, 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 8 is 24. Put two placeholders. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 8 is 8. Add the numbers together. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0 is 0. 2 plus 0 plus 0 is 2. 3 plus 4 is 7. 8 plus 2 is 10. 107,200. 107,200. All right, if you got that problem correct, pat yourself on the back. If you didn't, go back and see what you did wrong. Remember, you have to add one placeholder, then you have to add two placeholders, and you have to line up the numbers. If you made any of those mistakes, then chances are you got the problem wrong. All right, 26. Let's read the problem. Larry sold 593 stickers. Each sticker sold for $9. How much money did he make? So let's say that you're selling these stickers. You sell each sticker for $9. Let's say you want to buy something that's really expensive, but you have to sell stuff in order to make enough money to buy it. So you're selling stickers and each one costs $9. And you sold 593 stickers. Well, you're really going to be interested in how much money you made, right? So how do you do the problem? Well, obviously you just add 9 593 times. 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, 593 times. But if you do that, it's going to take a long time. So instead of adding 9, we're going to do a more complicated version of addition. We're going to multiply the 9. We're going to combine our knowledge of our multiplication facts with our algorithm to calculate this product as quickly as we can. So 593 times 9, and follow the same algorithm. Pause the video, see what you can do, and remember to write your units. The final answer is going to have units of dollars, so remember to put your dollar sign. All right, we're back. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry the 2. 9 times 9 is 81. Plus 2 is 83. Carry the 8. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 plus 8 is 53. Put your comma. Final answer is $5,337. Again, in these word problems, we have to say dollars. If you're counting in the real world, chances are you're counting something, right? Are you counting horses? Are you counting chairs? Are you counting clouds in the sky? What are you counting? You have to say what you're counting. We're counting dollars. All right? Let's see here. All right, next problem. Now you can try this one on your own. Let's read it first, though. There are 251 babies born every minute worldwide. I got that information off the internet, so apparently it's correct. Not that everything on the internet is correct, but I think it was Google that told me there's 251 babies born every minute worldwide. Actually, it's not Google. It's just probably some website that they're referencing. So every minute, 251 babies are born. How many babies were born in the last 2 hours? There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So this problem is a two-part problem. Okay? There are 251 babies born in 1 minute. Okay? We want to know how many babies were born in the last 2 hours. The problem is we're dealing with minutes and we're dealing with hours. It says 251 babies in 1 minute, but it wants to know how many babies were born in the last 2 hours. Hours and minutes are different units. That's like the difference between inches and centimeters. You can't compare the two. They're not the same unit. They're different. So what we have to do is we have to either change babies per minute to babies per hour, or we have to change the hours to minutes. So it's much easier to change hours to minutes. So it says here there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So we want to know how many minutes are in 2 hours. How many minutes would 2 hours be? And then we can use that information with the 251 for every minute. All right. So how many minutes in 2 hours? If there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, how many minutes in 2 hours? Well, that's just a basic multiplication problem. So part 1 of this is 60 times 2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. There's 120 minutes. Actually, we'll just write that down here. 120 minutes in in 2 hours. In 2 hours. 120 minutes in 2 hours. All right, so that's part 1. So now, there are 251 babies born in 1 minute. 251 babies born in 1 minute. Okay? They want to know how many babies are born in 120 minutes. 251 babies born in 1 minute. How many are born 120 minutes? So obviously you just have to add 251 120 times. You have to add 251 120 times. But it's much easier to convert that to a multiplication problem. Remember, when adding numbers gets really tough, it's easier to change it into a multiplication problem. We need a more sophisticated algorithm to calculate the product faster. So 251, we learned the algorithm for multiplying big numbers, 251 times 120. So it's the same algorithm, 0 times 1, 0 times 5, 0 times 2, 2 times 1, 2 times 5, 2 times 2, 1 times 1, 1 times 5, 1 times 2. And just remember to put your placeholders, and you'll be fine. So go ahead and pause the video, attempt that problem, and when you're done, we'll check your work. All right, we're back. 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Put your placeholder. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. Put the placeholders. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. Wait, what am I doing here? That's not correct. 1, 5, 2. I accidentally put the numbers on a fourth row. All right, so now we have to add those numbers. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 2. 0 plus 0 plus 1 is 1. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So again, we multiplied 251 times 0 to get that. Those are just placeholders, really, I guess. Then we multiplied, so that's 0 times 251. Then we multiplied 2 times 251, 20 times 251 to get this number. Then we multiplied 100 times 251 to get this number. Then we took the 0, the 20 times, and the 100 times, and added them up to get our final result. All right, 30,120. 30,000. We're kind of running out of room here. $30,000. Oh yeah, we forgot to write part 2. We want to order our work here. So this is part 2 here. We did part 1, which is converting hours to minutes, and we're doing part 2, which is figuring out how many babies in 2 hours. So there are 30,120 babies, or there were 30,120 babies born in the last 2 hours. So, I'm sorry, I should have given you more room here. So that's our final answer. 30,120 babies born in the last 2 hours. All right. So now, pause the video and attempt the next problem. Actually, we should probably do this problem together. The area of a shape is the number of squares that can fit into the shape. What that means is if you have some area, say you have like a quarter, and you want to find the area of the quarter. Area measures two-dimensional shapes. Two-dimensional means like a sheet of paper, the top of a desk, the surface of walls. It's two-dimensional. So if you want to measure a two-dimensional coin, for example, you figure out how many squares you can fit in the coin, and that's a measure of the area, the two-dimensional area of the coin. So that's how you measure area. You try to fit squares. Now, why are we trying to fit squares? Why don't we try to fit circles? Or why don't we try to fit triangles? Well, we could do that, and then we'd say square triangles, or that's square triangles, or a certain number of square triangles, or a certain number of circular circles. But for some reason, it's people in the world, mathematicians, engineers, scientists, they prefer to measure area in squares. So the area of a shape is the number of squares that can fit into the shape. The area of a rectangle can be found by multiplying its side dimensions, which are often called its length and its width. Its length and its width. And they want us to find the area of the following rectangle by multiplying its length and width, and then count the number of squares to confirm that your answer agrees with the sum of the squares. So again, it's telling us that you find the area, the number of squares in here, by multiplying the length and the width. Now, we learned in the previous class why that works. If you take the length, you get 4, right? If you multiply that 12 times, then you get 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And that's all the squares. All right? So 4, 12 times is going to give you the number of squares in this entire figure. And the number of squares is the area. Again, all area is just counting squares, seeing how many squares fit in that space. For example, if you want to measure the floor, your kitchen floor, what's the area of your kitchen floor? Where you put squares on the kitchen floor and see how many squares that fit on the kitchen floor, and that's a measure of how big your kitchen floor is. All right. So 4 times 12. You put your 12 here and your 4, and we can use the same algorithm. Remember, we also learned in the last class that 4 times 12 is the same thing as 12 times 4. Just to remind you, we've got 12, and then we multiply it 4 times, and that also gives us the number of squares. Anyway, 12 times 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 1 is 4, 48. So the number of squares is 48. And so what are we counting? Well, we're not just counting any squares. See, we could say 48 squares, but that doesn't say exactly what type of squares we're measuring. We could be measuring square meters. We could be measuring square centimeters. We could be measuring square feet, but we're measuring square inches. So we can say 48 square inches. Or it's much easier just to say 48 IN for inches, and then a 2, that 2 means squared. And you're going to learn why that 2 means squared in subsequent classes. So that, or we can say this. All right? So again, this image is not drawn to scale, so don't criticize me because these are not actual inches. If this was real, that would be an inch, 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 so on and so forth. All right. It looks like we only have 2 more problems here, so we're doing good. If you're still with me, then you're doing really good. All right, this is a big section here, so we're almost done. Multiplying numbers is not easy. In fact, I would say this is the hardest of the 4 operations that we have to do so far, or it's the most laborious. Alrighty, 29. Find the area of the square below. Well, didn't we just find out that to measure the area of a rectangle, we just multiply the length and the width? Well, in case you didn't know, a square is a type of rectangle. It's just a different type of rectangle. All squares are rectangles. Not all rectangles are squares, but all squares are rectangles. A square is just a rectangle where the length and the width are equal. So we have 25 and 25. All right, so it's just a special type of rectangle. All right, so we measured the length and the width of the rectangle, or we measured the area by multiplying the length and the width. So now we're going to do the same thing with this rectangle. We're going to multiply the length and the width. So 25 times 25. Actually, let's move that up a little bit. All right. Attempt this problem, see what you can do, and then when you're done, we'll come back and try it together. All right, we're back. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Put your placeholder. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. Cross out the number we're not using anymore. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Now, remember to line up the numbers. If you don't line up the numbers, then you're in trouble. 125 plus 500. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 5 is 6. So the final answer is 625. Now at this point, we've got two problems. One problem is we haven't written the unit. This is square feet, so we can just write ft to the second power, which means squared. That's the first problem. We didn't write square feet. The second problem is we haven't rectangled our answer. All right, now we're done. So the area of this square is 625 square feet. That means we can fit 600, if it's 25 by 25. By the way, that's another way that you write the dimensions of a two-dimensional figure that's a rectangular square. You say 25 by 25, or if you have a 2 by 4, for example, it's called a 2 by 4 because it's 2 inches by or 2 feet by 4 feet. I don't know, 2 by 4s. Yeah, I think no, it's inches. It should be inches. I don't know. Or you might have a 4 by 6 inch phone or something like that. That's another way to say it. So this is a 25 by 25 feet. So what that means is that you can fit, when you multiply, you get 625 square feet. You can fit 625 squares inside there. Those squares would have to be a lot smaller, though, in reality, in that picture. All right, last problem. Let's read it together. I got to rewrite that. All right. 1 ounce of gold costs $1,246. 1 ounce of gold costs $1,246. That's actually correct at this point in 2017. Apparently 1 ounce of gold actually does cost $1,246. If Anne has 98 ounces, she doesn't just have 1 ounce, she has 98 ounces of gold. If she has 98 ounces of gold, what is the worth of all her gold? All right. So again, most people's mind would say, hey, well, that's no big deal. If $1,246 is 1 ounce of gold and she has 98 ounces, it's really simple. All you have to do is just add 1,246 98 times. Well, of course, the concept is simple, but actually doing that calculation, I wouldn't want to have to do that. I mean, that would be insane. 1,246, adding it 98 times? Well, it's a good thing that mathematicians have given us that algorithm we've learned for the last hour, because that makes it much easier. So let's go ahead and do it. Pause the video. And remember to put your placeholders. Remember to line up the numbers at the very end when you're adding them up. And when you're done, we'll do it together. All right, we're back. Line up the numbers vertically. We're going to start with the 8. 1,246 times 8. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 4 is 36. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is 19. Carry the 1. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Put your placeholder. Now we're going on to the 9. 9 times 1,246. 9 times 6 is 54. Mark these numbers out. 9 times 6 is 54. Carry the 5. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 5 is 41. Put your 1. It's easy to get lost here. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 41. Carry the 4. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 4 is 22. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. Put your line under. Make sure that all the numbers are lined up. Put your addition sign. Again, multiplication is just a more complicated form of addition. We know that because we're adding two numbers. All right. Now, if we would have done it the conceptually simple way, we would have just added 1,246 98 times. But because we have this algorithm, we're just adding two numbers, this number and this number. The first number is 1,246 8 times. The second number is 1,246 90 times. So we're adding the 8 and then the 90. And again, most kids don't really care about that. They don't want to hear about why the algorithm works. They don't care about why the algorithm works. They just want to know how to do the algorithm. So I don't mean to upset you by showing you how the algorithm works. I'm just trying to demystify it a little bit for you. But anyway, let's do it. So we're now ready to add the 8 1,246s and the 90 1,246s. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 9 plus 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus nothing is 1. Put your comma. So 122,108. So what are we counting here? Well, to figure out what we're counting, you go to what the problem is asking. It says, what is the worth of all her gold? Well, worth is usually measured in dollars. Of course, there are more important things than money, but in this case, the worth is measured in dollars. So $122,108. So 1 ounce of gold costs $1,246. If Anne has 98 ounces of gold, what is the worth of all her gold? That 98 ounces amounts to $122,108. All right. So that's all our practice problems. All right, so here's the homework. As always, remember to write the title of your homework. Write your name, the date, the course title. Remember to circle the numbers. Remember to write the original number and show your work, and then rectangle the final answers. Remember to order your work. Organize your work in your binder. And get a screenshot of this. Multiplication problems are much more laborious than the problems that we've been doing previously. So I've only given you 15 problems. That's all you have to do. 15 problems. So I'll look forward to seeing you in the next course. In the next course, I believe we're going to be doing division. So I'll see you then.